Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
So you know what I like about Bernie Sanders? And let's be clear on this one. I'm not a Sanders guy, not a Bernie, not a feel the burn dude. I mean, look, I was talking to a buddy of mine about this the other day. I don't think I know a single person this election who didn't feel like it was Sophie's choice in some way, shape, or form. I really don't. I knew people that were on the left that went, oh, you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Hillary Clinton should be indicted, but I'm going to vote for her anyway because she's better than Donald Trump. And I knew people on the right that went, oh, yeah, that stuff he said about being famous, allowing you to grab women wherever the hell you want to. That's not a good look, but like him better than Hillary, so I'm voting. Pretty much everybody I spoke to that voted went into the voting booth and went, crap, click. And that was how we ended up with a president. And hey, if you felt awesome about your choice, if you really truly did, then no harm, no foul to you. Jealous of you. But you know what I like about Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders had this ability to draw respect from the right in a way that I haven't seen any other candidate do. And I think it was because he was perhaps a man that appeared to be acting on principles. Now, you might disagree with him. You might radically disagree with everything that he put forth, thinking that it was a shortcut to a cold water flat in a 4-story walk-up where we'd all be riding bicycles because we could no longer afford cars, and maybe you would have been right. But I think a lot of people on the right, like some of my most staunch Republican friends, really kind of were like, Bernie's a guy of principle, and that's cool. And I think that shows in that he's back up in the game. All the other presidential candidates, have you heard a lot of from them recently? Was it Rick Santorum? You remember Rick Santorum? This to me was like the epitome of someone that's really just on a book tour when they're trying to be president. Rick Santorum, the guy that was going to ban porn, the one that looked like he was gaining some steam when it came down to Obama-Romney. He started talking about how he was going to ban pornography, and they went, I guess we don't have to worry about this guy after all. When Rick, I'm going to ban porn Santorum lost, what did he do? Did he continue with his political duties? Did he continue as a servant of the public? No. He moved to Dallas, and he started a film production company. He made a terrible religious film called The Christmas Candle, trying to cash in on the fact that you can make spiritual films for almost no money, and they have a very easy to cater to audience. And then he left his, you know what I found was interesting? When he bailed on the whole presidential campaign thing, I went to his website to see what the hell was up with him. And this is just him, but he, to me, was a microcosm of most politicians that take a stab at running for president. It's just a fantastic way to raise your profile, and you can cash in on that. Your reputation equals big bucks in those situations. And I remember going to his website, seeing, what is he doing now? Oh, he's starting a film company. Hey, if he's starting a film company, why is there a link on the homepage of his website that still allows you to donate to Rick Santorum for president? Could it be he was just in it for the money? He was just in it for the fame? He was just in it for the notoriety? He was just in it to help him launch his film production business? Far be it from me to speculate. But what's Bernie Sanders doing? He's in there, being Bernie, allowing people to feel the burn. I don't know if you caught it or not, but the Senate is currently debating the repeal of Obamacare. And since senators love their visual aids, Bernie Sanders brought one with him to work when he went to the Senate. He printed a gigantic Trump tweet and brought it to the Senate floor. And he is doing his very best to hold Donald Trump to his word. The tweet dates from May of 2015 and says, I was the first and only potential GOP candidate to state that there would be no cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Huckabee copied me. You remember that? So much has happened since then. I guess that's why Bernie brought the ginormous visual aid as a refresher. And Sanders said millions of people voted for him on the belief that he would keep his word. If he was sincere, then I would hope that tomorrow or maybe today he could send out a tweet and tell his Republican colleagues to stop wasting their time and all of our time. And for Mr. Trump to tell the American people that he will veto any proposal that cuts Medicare. He's holding them to it. And why shouldn't he?
Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Radio. Radio. 104.1.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
So, Funkhouser, how long is this segment that we're starting right now?
Siete.
How long?
That's seven.
Seven. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I have some good news. I have some legitimately good news. There's going to be people that tell you it's not good news. There's going to be people that try and defecate all over this news that is good. There's going to be people that try and spin it and say, no. You think this is good news, but it's not good news. But it is good news, and I can't wait to share it with you. And we'll do that after we get to some bad news, which we will follow with a punchline. Funkhouser, what's going on in the world?
Okay, fine. All this
Read that news, Funkhouser. Read it and read it well.
Ted Lang from The Love Boat turned 69 today.
Oh, The Love Boat. Who was he? Who did he play? I think he played
I missed The Love
Isaac.
Boat.
Isaac the bartender. Ted Lang from The Love Boat. He's 69 years old today. He played Isaac the bartender. That was the guy with the awesome mustache, right? Yeah. You know, the funny black guy from a sitcom in the 80s that you could safely take a drink from. Bibbidi pudding pops.
Yeah.
Go on.
Will and Grace may be returning to television.
Oh. I would imagine producers realize that American viewers are eager for gay-themed programming after seeing how well WWE SmackDown is performing.
How do you help
Who
a
was that
friend that
wrestler?
watches that?
How do you what?
How do you help a friend who watches SmackDown? How do you
SmackDown?
Yeah. What do you do for that person? How can you help them?
Pat them on the back for finding something in life that they enjoy.
Ooh.
Now, if they watch SmackDown and go, "This is real," that's another thing.
Okay.
Like, I went to my first WWE live event not so long ago, and it was a great, I cannot stress this enough. I don't know if I'm, champing at the bit to go back, but it was a great time. It really was entertainment at its finest. And I got to tell you that as fake as some of that stuff looks on TV, in person, you see when you get up a little bit closer that it is even faker than you could imagine. It really is.
Aww.
But it's so entertaining. And I was sitting in front of, or I was sitting behind some folks with a little kid, and the little kid's loving it. Whoever the hell it was gets pinned, and he goes, "You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you." And I was like, that's just the cutest thing I've ever seen. And behind me, there's a bunch of guys playing a drinking game. Every single time certain moves are done, they're like, "Oh, chug, chug, chug," and they were under no impression that it was in any way, shape, or form real. They were just having a great time. Maybe they started watching wrestling when they were kids, and this is how they transfer that joy into adulthood. But I got no problem with anybody that enjoys WWE. It's like I said, you see it up close and personal, and it's less real than you could ever picture when you're watching it on TV, but I was thoroughly entertained the whole time. Yep, I was. What else?
Kylie Jenner and Tyga are vacationing in Mexico with Girls Gone Wild guy Joe Francis.
Wait, hold on. That D-bag from Girls Gone Wild, Joe Francis, Kylie Jenner and Tyga are vacationing all in one spot together. Any potential terror cells listening? You want to pick and target? Okay.
Oh yeah, because they listen to our show.
You never know. I think
in this case, I think we know.
Well, you know what?
I can see them.
You know what? A couple of interesting things happened to me since I entered the world of political talk radio a few years ago. Like, I do this, and then there's another station in Houston that I'm on, not doing this show, but doing some other stuff, and that's really kind of more, what would you call it, straight political talk, you know? And ever since I got into that world, a couple things happened. One, I cannot get off of politicians' mailing lists for love or money. Like, I can't. As we've said numerous times, I cannot count the number of occasions upon which I've tried to unsubscribe from Herman Cain's mailing list, but there he is, the Herminator, sending me emails like daily ever since he took a run at being president. I am very well informed as to the whereabouts and goings-on in the world of Herman Cain and what he thinks about politics and things of that nature. And that goes for pretty much everybody else. Rand Paul, like, oh yeah, Rand Paul, Ron Paul, like the Pauls send me like lots of emails all the time. And then the other thing I noticed started happening was on Twitter, and you say that I noticed a lot of people from Arabic countries started following me on Twitter once I got into political talk radio. Why? I don't know. But like lots of sort of people from Muslim and Arabic countries have begun following me on Twitter. And it coincided right with the time that I got into political talk radio. And it's too... I don't know who they are. I'm not saying that they're terrorists, but I am saying that, you know, like... Once you enter the world of political talk, you attract a different audience from all over the place. People that think all sorts of different things. Like, you know what I haven't gotten? Haven't gotten any political trolls. Haven't got any, like, hard right or hard left people being like, "Nah, what you said was wrong." And I think that's because I keep all the political conversation on the air and, you know, don't allow people to troll me. Like, if you want to go after me and something that I said, then you have to listen to my show. I don't get political on Twitter for the most part, just because, like, that allows people to indulge in what I call toilet activism. I will not allow myself to be trolled by someone with an overactive imagination and a strong political view while they're on the commode, on their phone. That's not a thing I will do. So I'm pretty much impenetrable. If you want to take me on about something I said on the air, cool. If it's on Twitter, sorry, you are SOL.
Real radio. 104.1.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radioland. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. You do what we do.
So, Funkhouser, what do you think is the secret to long-term happiness? I know it's sort of like a large and esoteric question, but you and I have known each other for a long time. But if you had to guess, what would it be? Maybe by yourself or maybe in a relationship. But what do you think is the secret to remaining happy?
Doing what you love.
Doing what you love?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I think doing what you love definitely helps. I'm always interested. I'm always interested when I see couples that are like 1,000,000 years old and have been together since the dawn of time, how that happens, especially the ones that seem to be really enjoying hanging out together and still into each other. I think that's super cool. And whenever I see those folks, I'm always like, what's up with that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on. I said, when I see those folks, I'm always like, what's up with that? When I see those folks, I'm always like...
I want to be that old couple.
There you go.
I want to be that old guy walking behind his wife going, "Damn it, it's hot. Where are we going?" That guy's earned his stripes. I like a couple that's been together so long they can start a fight without talking. She can just look at him. He'll go, "Don't start that not here." That's love. They say married men live longer. I think it just feels that way. My dad is starting to come unglued a little bit. He's using the wrong words to describe stuff, and he's convinced he's right. So we took him to the candle store. He walks into a store full of people and goes, smells like incest in here. I took him to the heart doctor for a checkup. He comes out. I go, how'd it go? He goes, they put them wires on my chest. Gave me a KGB. I'm clear. They say you live long enough, you watch your parents become children again. My dad's 67. My son is 7. I took them to Disney World. They are the same person. It's hot. I gotta pee. How much further is it?
Being in it for the long haul. That long haul of happiness. And you know, man, I think a lot of different people will tell you a lot of different things are the secret to happiness. But I think one thing that you can't get around, one thing that will help you be happy on a regular basis is, well, looking for the good. What's crappy will always be available. But find the good. And you know what? Don't stop yourself from celebrating it when it is good news. You want some good news? You want some good news that some people will tell you is not? All right, here's some good news. This is great news. Did you see that? The Ford Motor Company, they were going to spend a humongous chunk of cash, $1.6 billion, and they were going to spend it on a manufacturing plant in Mexico. Do you remember the story? Now, not so much. Now the folks over at Ford have decided that they're going to be plunking down $700 million on a new assembly line. Where? In Michigan. In the good old US of A. To do the same thing that this $1.6 billion plant was going to do in Mexico. So way to go, Ford. Way to go, Ford workers. Way to go, Michigan. Way to go, Detroit. Way to go, America. Way to go, President-elect Donald J. Trump. Yeah. Now, if you have listened to me for any length of time, you know I'm not a Trump fan, nor am I a Hillary fan. Not a fan of politicians in general. I'm not a Republican, not a Democrat. I'm not a libertarian. I think that assignation of a label to oneself demagnetizes your personal moral compass. Look, you got to know where your moral compass's true north is. And once you start giving up pieces of yourself to a party, that becomes harder to do. The moment you fall in with a political party, the moment that you toe that company line, the moment that you sign up to blindly support something or someone by voting straight ticket anything. Do you know what you're doing when you sign up to vote straight ticket anything, when you put a label on yourself? You've compromised yourself. You have decided to allow someone to dictate your thoughts and remove your thoughts. Allowing a party to dictate to you what to think or how to vote or any of the above is allowing somebody to steal your thoughts, steal your free will, steal, in effect, your freedom. Now, look, I absolutely understand those that want to register as something, a Republican or a Democrat. You got to be registered as something to take part in the primaries, and I think that's unbelievably jacked up. But this is not a conversation about how party politics are irrevocably broken and how it's the most jacked up thing ever. The fact that you're only allowed to be part of the primaries if you agree to be neutered of the luxury of choice by being a knee-jerk reactionary joiner. That's a conversation for another day, and one that we had in the past during the primaries. Let's take it back to center, shall we, you and me. This is a conversation about you and about me seeking out things that are good and enjoying them and being happy about them. And in this case, I'm enjoying and being happy about the fact that Donald J. freaking Trump, who on many occasions I found to be a comedically orange, Oompa Loompa-esque, morally bankrupt, weird-haired, rude, misogynistic, race-baiting buffoon that makes America the punchline to a daily joke told on a world stage, Donald J. Trump did something good. Donald Trump did something good, and we should all be happy about it. See, I read in the New York Times, they reported that Ford Motor, by the way, nation's second largest automaker, said they're going to scrap those plans to build that car assembly plant in Mexico. Now, I don't know if you've noticed it. I mean, there's been so much flying around over the last several months, but Trump has repeatedly criticized that and gone after the fact that they are setting up a plant in Mexico. See, Trump has threatened to impose tariffs on cars made in Mexico by the folks over at General Motors as well. And what his message has done, at least this message, is it's forced companies to defend themselves. See, Donald J. Trump is having a humongous impact on how American car companies run their operations 3 weeks before he takes office, way before he even takes office. And this decision by Ford to bail on the idea of building a plant in Mexico, that means 700 additional jobs in Michigan, here in America. Building electric and hybrid vehicles, which, by the way, make us less dependent on foreign oil. That's also a good thing, something to be happy about. And Ford's chief executive, dude called Mark Field, said, and I quote, "We are encouraged by the pro-growth plans that President-elect Trump and the new Congress indicate they will pursue." He said, "We have a president-elect who has said very clearly that one of his first priorities is to grow the economy. That should be music to our ears." Let's just hear that again. Head honcho in charge over at Ford said, quote, "We have a president-elect who has said very clearly that one of his first priorities is to grow the economy. That should be music to our ears." And look, now what Trump has to do is to not just make it tougher to do business in Mexico. He needs to make it easier to do business in America. And that's long and that's protracted and that's filled with potential potholes, both ethical and financial. But for now, this is something to feel good about. And you want to know why I decided to bring this up? I decided to bring this up after a conversation I had. I read it in the New York Times, or, New York Times website. And I brought it up to a buddy of mine. He was like, "What do you think of, what do you think of Trump? What do you think of, how do you think that's going to go?" I was like, well, not a Trump guy, but hey, this is something to feel good about. Seems like Trump's policies, even though they're not policies that have already created jobs in America, that's something good. Like that plant that was going to be in Mexico, it's now going to be in Michigan. That's cool, right? I mentioned this to this friend of mine, who, by the way, just, for clarification, staunch Republican, a never Trump Republican, but a Republican nevertheless, who said, "Yeah, well, that's too little too late for Ford. Where were they 4 years ago? They're putting Band-Aids on a gaping flesh wound, and look at Trump trying to make nice, like he really cares. Ha! Ha!" He was not convinced. And he basically implied that I was an idiot to be stoked about it. And you know what I did? Much as I love this friend, not unlike a brother, as he was talking, you ever do this? I do this a lot. I glazed over. I stopped listening to him. And as he was speaking, I started replaying the last inning of the '86 World Series in my head. And even though it looked like I was listening to him, it looked a lot like I was listening to him and paying attention, I was reliving the joy of the Mets creating the single greatest moment in baseball history. Sorry, Chicago Cubs fans. That was awesome. But this is my Mets. So anyways, I digress. That's what was going on in my head as he was talking. Until his lips stopped moving, at which point I sort of nodded and went, mm-hmm. See what I did there? It's not a yes. It's not a no. Mm-hmm. But it made him feel good about whatever the hell it was he just said. And as much as I respect this dude, I did that. And you want to know why? Because negativity, pessimism in these situations. I used to wear my negativity and pessimism like a suit of armor. And on occasion, I still do. Negativity and pessimism, they're easy. it's easy to go, Murphy's Law, everything's gonna suck. It protects you from disappointment in every area of your life. But in the long run, those things, they don't help. They don't help you find happiness. They don't help you. They don't help me. They don't help anybody else. Negativity and pessimism never really help. To me, snarky sarcasm is like breathing. It's like a language I speak. It's a default setting, one that I attempt to break every single day. Because I realize they don't help. Look, you might hate Trump. You might think that Trump and his presidency, you might think that all this is a sign of the coming of the apocalypse. You might have a problem with him on many levels, and you might be absolutely right about all of those things. But in this instance, and ones like it in the coming years, in the next 4 to 8 years, could you do me a favor? Could you look for the good? I'm not saying to ignore the bad. I'm not saying not to be indignant and outraged and fight the bad wherever you see it. But look for the good. Allow yourself the luxury of being happy. Allow yourself to be happy about this. Be happy for America. Be happy for 700 workers with jobs in Michigan. I predict instances of unmitigated disaster in Trump's administration. I do. But don't be so blinded by your contempt or hatred for a politician, any politician, left, right, up, down, whatever, that it gets in the way of your celebration for America. In these situations, if Trump does something good that deserves a round of applause and you voted Hillary or you're a feel the burn person, it's not like the opposing team scored a touchdown. It's like we all did. Don't let the killjoy of party politics take away from your end zone dance. Now more than ever, I would encourage you to seek out the good. Allow yourself to be happy about it when it happens, no matter where it comes from. I'd encourage you to free yourself from the shackles of division and allow yourself to be happy. You're going to find that you're happy a lot more often.
Real radio. 104.1. Now, more AD on the radio.
All righty then, Funkhouser. You know what? Let's roll through a little bit more news, and then I'll let you choose. What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the fact that former American Idol star Bo Bice is accusing Popeye's Chicken of reverse racism? Do you want to talk about that? Or do you want to talk about how much money Megyn Kelly turned down to remain at Fox?
There's not enough time for both? Those are two great stories.
I don't think there is.
I really want to know about...
Or do you want to talk about a new beer that's been designed specifically for drinking in the shower?
I will take that.
You'll take that? Okay, we'll start with that. And I'm going to guess that we won't spend too much time on shower beer, which will allow us to approach one of those other topics after we finish up what remains of the news. What else is going on in the world, Funkhouser?
Critics are concerned Megyn Kelly won't succeed at NBC due to her challenging new daytime schedule.
What do you think? Do you think that it's... Look, we both have been in broadcasting. We've both worked various shifts.
What? It's a jock change. What's the big deal? Which now she comes into work during the day instead of at night?
Yeah, I got to imagine. I guess you just have to rejigger the old sketch a little bit. You know? Would you rather work I know people in radio that would they don't feel comfortable working while the sun is up. They are a night person. And you know what? I think that would be me. I think I would be the perpetual night jock. Except for the fact that you can't really make any money that way. Like, it's really tough to make any kind of loot working from 7 to midnight or midnight to 6 a.m. or whatever the night shift is. But, like, I feel more comfortable as a creature of the night. I really, really do. What about you?
I'm a morning guy.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
how could you really?
Town to town, up and down the dial changed me, bro. Now I get up at 3:30 Pacific.
Yeah.
Bleh.
Anyways, before she's even begun doing anything, critics are already saying that Megyn Kelly will not succeed at NBC due to her challenging new daytime schedule. And then I believe Kelly pointed out how much more you can actually accomplish at work when your boss isn't trying to show you his junk. That'll probably free up a lot of time. Go on.
So Megyn Kelly claims she left Fox for NBC to try something new.
Mm-hmm. Also sick of feeling Bill O'Reilly's knuckle hair on the back of her neck. Go on.
Gross.
I know.
50-year-old Janet Jackson gave birth to a healthy baby boy.
Wow, 50.
50.
That's got to be some sort of... I don't think it's a record, but, you know, that has to put her in a really small club to have a baby boy.
I don't think she's
at
putting
50
out
years.
records anymore.
Yeah, I think she is. I bet she's going to... she'll be all inspired. She's a mom now, and she'll probably have new songs to write now that she's a mom to a healthy baby boy. At 50 years old. To which Mick Jagger responded, I say, isn't she a bit young to be starting a family? Sure you're ready? Go on.
Snooki says her resolution is to work out more.
Whoa,
Snooki.
man. Snooki, the basket,
Isn't she on Celebrity Apprentice with Arnold?
Oh, really? Snooki from the Jersey Shore?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So Snooki's back up in the game. Her resolution is to work out more, just like me, minus the hurdle of scheduling it all around a job. she has the luxury of not having to do that. Do you have any New Year's resolutions, Funkhouser? Like, do you any?
Eat less, spend more. No, not really. I want to do more gardening. I want to do more gardening in the new year.
Oh,
you know, I'm a
good.
simple man with simple plans.
Simple man with simple plans, simple wants, simple needs. Did you see I did my my yearly realistic resolutions on Twitter?
Yeah.
Shall I read you some of them?
Yes, please.
Hold on.
Let me get the appropriate music.
Why is this the appropriate music for New Year's resolutions? Like, this is like sad Morrissey music.
I want to lose 100 pounds. Because it's all things that aren't going to come true anyway.
No, I need something like We Are the Champions. Something about busting through, breaking on through to the other side, achieving personal goals and personal bests. What do you have that sounds a little more triumphant for my list of realistic resolutions for 2017?
Triumphant?
Yes, triumphant. Oh, there you go. All right, my realistic resolutions in 2017. I will start accepting what I see in the mirror and stop letting my doctor shame me into denying myself the food that I love. In 2017, I will overcome social anxiety, throw caution to the wind, and I will wear that mistletoe belt buckle to next year's holiday party. And finally, in the workplace, in 2017, I will use the phrase, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem, at least once a day. I'm actually way ahead of schedule on that one. It's good stuff. If you have any realistic resolutions, tweet them to me at ADSXE using the hashtag realistic resolutions. I'd love to know what yours are. I'll read them on the air if they are good. What else is going on in the world?
Yours was good.
Funkhouser?
Those were good ones.
Thank you very much.
Marilyn Manson is 48 years young today.
Oh, he's not really that scary anymore. Now that there's like another guy in clown makeup running around and screaming who will soon have access to the nuclear codes,
Good one.
mellow by comparison.
That's it.
Real classy. Why don't we just go to the story?
Have you ever seen Marilyn? You know what? Marilyn Manson, to me, was the last frontier of what was challenging, shocking, offensive, groundbreaking in music. Like that was it. Because I remember seeing those Marilyn Manson videos when I was a kid and being like, what the hell is that? Like, that's unlike anything I'd ever seen before. And he challenged people's perceptions. I think, weren't you a little kind of like, never seen that before when you first saw a Marilyn Manson video?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it scared me.
Yeah. And then I saw him a couple years later. I never saw him live, but like it was funny because a guy that used to crew for Marilyn Manson crewed for my band while we were on the road, and we're like, is he really like that, or is it all an act? And he's like, no, he's like that. There's a guy that he keeps around, takes on tour with him just so he has someone to punch after he comes off stage. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, it's his gimp. He has a gimp that he just beats the crap out of when he comes off stage. But when I saw a Marilyn Manson show, I'll let you know why I thought the day of shock was over. And we'll do that next.
But then I've got a hunch that if I step to you, you'd back right down. Can't see it through your bitch and you're like Kool-Aid. You're just 10% juice. Punk.
Stimulated minds want to know, what were you thinking? No, really, give us a call and tell us. KPRC AM 950.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is. The Dumbing Up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
So, how much time do we have left, Funkhouser? 13 minutes? Oh, so we got time to do some more news and then cover the story that you wanted to cover. I gave you a choice of several stories. One being, how much money did Megyn Kelly turn down to leave Fox? Former American Idol star Bo Bice accusing a Popeye's chicken of reverse racism for calling him white boy. And a new beer designed specifically for drinking in the shower. And you said out of all those topics, the one that we had to deal with first was shower beer, right?
Shower beer, please.
So hopefully we'll get to shower beer and we'll talk about...
Not yet?
Not yet. No.
Well, just hold that
please.
one then.
Yeah, hold please on the shower beer. But Marilyn Manson, 48 years old today. And I truly believe that he was the last frontier of anything that was shocking. Like, he really challenged people's perceptions. Like, on the album that made him famous, the household name. The one with Sweet Dreams. And by the way, how weird must that be, knowing that you never would be where you are in the world? Like, you'd be driving a different car, living in a smaller house, if the Eurythmics hadn't written the song that broke you through to the mainstream. Like, I wonder if, who must really be feeling that at the moment? The guys in Limp Bizkit, who, look, managed to write albums, make of Limp Bizkit what you will. But there's no denying that for a moment in time, they had a very intense connection with their audience and how they felt. They were able to move people to feel stuff in a way that, a lot of bands can't do anymore. But it never would have happened. Even if you think Limp Bizkit is absolute garbage, the one thing that we can all agree on is that their success never would have been a thing if they hadn't had that breakthrough moment, which was what, Funkhouser? Their cover of
Faith
by George Michael. Yeah. So it's got to be weird for folks like Marilyn Manson going, if it wasn't for the Eurythmics, if it wasn't for George Michael, our careers would not be what they are. Because those were the breakthrough moments for those artists. Those were the ones where, like, those records were struggling. They released a couple of singles. And finally, what got them the acceptance, got them the airplay on MTV and on radio was their cover versions of songs. But there you go. There you have it. Marilyn Manson, 48 years old today. And I'll never forget feeling like the day of anything shocking was over, because I went to see Marilyn Manson and I was expecting something subversive, something scary, because I had that one guy that was out on the road with my band that used to crew for Marilyn Manson, and we asked him that question. We're like, is he really like that? I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's real deal. He experiments with the drugs, and he has this guy that he just keeps around. He pays him a salary so he can punch him after he comes off stage. He's his gimp. I was like, that's some different stuff. So, I was like, okay, Marilyn Manson is real deal scary. That's who he is. He's a different kind of person. I'm going to go to his show and I'm going to see something that tests me. test my levels of what I can accept, test my boundaries of. And you know what? I was really disappointed because the show was good. Like, he's a great performer. He sings really well, but I walked away from the Marilyn Manson show going like, there was nothing that happened today that I feel jeopardizes my chances of getting into heaven. Like, where were the goat leggings? Did I miss a virginal sacrifice while I was in the bathroom? Like, it was just a good rock show, and I was a little disappointed by that. But I think he was the last person that I can remember that ever made me go, whoa, that's something I've never seen before that is challenging to take in. And and with that, it was over. Whoa. With him, it was over.
Yep.
And now he's 48. I don't think you do too much challenging of people's perceptions after the age of 48. So that was fun. Now it's over. What else?
Viewers are upset that the new season of Britain's Celebrity Big Brother includes too many Americans.
Yeah, well, don't sweat it, Brits. It just means that your celebrities still have actual careers and jobs. Go on.
A 105-year-old Frenchman set a world cycling record.
Oh, no kidding. Wow, 105 years old. Setting records at cycling. What was the last piece of exercise you did, Funkhouser? Well, what was the last time you went, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to do some exercise, now I'm exercising? When was the last time you did that?
Nope. Can't think of it.
Were you in your 30s?
Oh, yeah. One morning I did TRX yoga class.
Really?
Once. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was
How long ago?
That's a thing, right?
Yeah, that counts.
4 or 5 months. 6 months.
Oh, that's fairly recently. You want to ask me when my last piece of exercise was?
Oh yeah. When was yours?
This morning.
More recent.
More recent. It's not part of a New Year's resolution, I believe. In
Does it make you feel better?
And stuff like that. Yeah, that's the only reason I'm doing it. Like, the amount of exercise I'm doing is so small that it's like this mess that I see in front of me whenever I look in the mirror. Like the act of waddling and sweating will not be changed by the amount of exercise I do. But it's like, ever since I, like, for those that don't know, if you go through like my publicity photos on Facebook, you dial it back to about 3 years ago before I clawed my way to middle management in corporate America, you will have seen a ripped-toned, shredded super athlete with single-digit body fat and a noticeable six-pack. Arms not unlike tree trunks. And I was that way not because I was a gym rat that was trying to get buff, but because my shrink at one point said to me, he was like, all right, you have a choice. You could either be medicated or you could agree to exercise. That will help you combat the depression that you've struggled with your entire life, which you are currently having a problem with. This was several years ago. And I was like, well, tell me about this medication. He was like, it'll change your mood. It'll change your personality. And he's like, isn't your personality important to your job? And I was like, yeah, the personality is kind of sort of what pays a mortgage. So I don't want to damage my livelihood. So I guess I'll just go to the gym. And I had like at least 2 spare hours a day back then. And like as a byproduct of fighting depression, I wound up getting really buff. And it wasn't a thing that I was looking to do. It's just, I used to wear baggier clothes to cover it because like when you go do club appearances, like all those roid rage dudes, like, you look pretty big. How big are you? What do you lift? And this is not a conversation I'm ever interested in having. You want to arm wrestle? No, I do not. But that was then and this is now. And for the past 3 years, I've been glued to an office chair. And like I said, waddling and sweating has become the new normal with my current physical shape. And that's not going to change based on the exercise, but like just doing the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes of exercise in the morning that I've been doing has kind of cleared a bit of a fog. So hopefully I managed to keep it up. So that was the last time I exercised, Funkhouser. But yeah, this 105-year-old Frenchman, like, here we are. I'm holding it up as a major achievement that I exercised for 6 minutes for 2 days. Like, that's big news to me. This guy's 105 years old, and he set a world cycling record. The record? Most disgusting bicycle seat. Okay. How much time?
We have
time
like
to
5
talk about
minutes.
shower?
No,
All right,
5
let's talk about shower beer for a second, shall we? Okay. Do you?
One for you. Oh, you don't drink it, so 2 for me.
No, I don't. And also, here's the thing: we won't be showering together. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like,
Oh man, really?
well, see, look, there's plenty of reasons why someone would want to take a beer into the shower, like you're getting ready for a night out and you just don't want to stop to pregame, or you're an alcoholic, or no, that's pretty much it. Those are the only reasons why you'd want to take a beer into the shower. So a company in Sweden, where they're forward thinking about this sort of thing, company in Sweden just designed the first beer that's specifically made to drink in the shower. It's small. It's like 6 ounces. So good news for you, Funkhouser. You want to enjoy a shower beer. You can finish it in just 3 sips. 1, 2, 3. But here's the kicker. Literally the kicker. It's 10% alcohol, which is high for beer. So it's going to get the job done, and it's going to get the job done quickly. So now you know. No word on whether or not they're going to be planning on selling it over here. I think a 10% beer in America might be illegal. I don't think you are allowed to call it beer in that situation. But I think somebody here should adopt the idea, because it's very clear that Funkhouser wants shower beer.
Cannonball.
Where do you shower? At the Playboy Mansion? That's very impressive stuff. Do you know, like I have where I live, there's a, if you want to bathe yourself, which frequently I do, there's a bathtub that's sort of in the main bathroom area, and then there's a separate standalone shower. And I kind of resent that, just because, like, you ever take a Bauer, Funkhouser?
Always.
Yeah, when you just feel like you can't cope with the world, like
Yeah.
you're just like, I'm not standing to pee, nor am I standing to shower. I'm just going to lie here in the bathtub, turn the shower on, and let the shame wash over me. Like that's the way I choose to start my day, and I haven't been able to do that for a long time, and it's kind of bumming me out. So I can't do that anymore. So all right then, how much money do you think that Megyn Kelly turned down from Fox News?
Well, she was making
Why are we playing
millions.
this music? Is because she's like got another country estate?
It's a question. Maybe we were pondering it. Were you just going to tell me, or were you going to give me multiple choices? Or something?
Okay.
We're going to work this out? Show our math?
It's no secret. No secret that Fox News wanted to keep Megyn Kelly. Like, she is red hot after the election as a news personality. And new report claims they even offered her, get this, $100 million to stay. It was going to be like a 4-year contract, breaks down to like $25 million a year for 4 years, which is a tremendous amount of money to pass up. And you and I were speculating that whatever Fox was offering her, NBC was offering more. Basically, not so much. I think that it wasn't about the money for Megyn Kelly. The folks over at Medialite.com said she never even made a counter offer. She was like, no, I'm done with you. Don't you find this interesting? When you've got one foot out the door, it's really hard to go back in any kind of relationship, whether that's a work relationship or a relationship or maybe you've committed to moving out of your home. Whatever the case may be, if in your mind you've already moved on, it's very hard to go backwards. And I guess in her mind, Megyn Kelly had already moved on. For what reasons, we don't know. But we do know that they were not financial, because apparently she never even bothered making a counter offer, because she'd already decided to leave Fox News. And even though we don't know how much she's getting from NBC, we don't know the terms of her deal. I would imagine that the Fox deal was far higher financially. But I don't know. I can't even. All right. Let's say $25 million a year, Funkhouser.
Okay.
$25 million a year.
Sure, I can think like that. No problem.
Okay. Do you think you would live differently than if you made $10 million a year? Less than half that amount.
Yes.
You do?
Probably. I don't know. If you're a millionaire, maybe it's the same. I can't think that way.
I don't know. For me, I got to imagine it becomes a life thing. You know, like I cannot imagine that I would live a significantly different life if I made $25 million a year than I would if I made 12.5. Say it was exactly half. So at that point, I got to imagine that it really becomes about life decisions, you know, vacation time, things of that nature, you know, being able to set your own schedule a little bit more, autonomy, time with your family, things like that. There's a lot of speculation about why Megyn Kelly is leaving Fox News, but on the surface, it sounds like she wanted to free up her nights to spend more time with her family, and doing a daytime show on NBC was a better fit for that. And also, like we said earlier, it's a lot easier to accomplish things in the workplace when your boss isn't trying to show you his junk. Have a good one. We'll be back tomorrow and do it all over again.